Yeah.
They just did a full comprehensive rate of return analysis on college, and it's called Is College Worth It? And it's from freeop.org, FRE, 1E, OPP. So this report assesses the economic value of nearly 30,000 bachelor's degree programs at 1,775 colleges and universities across the United States. Very interesting, detailed study on this. 4 in 5 engineering programs have an ROI above $500,000.
Wow.
You get a degree in engineering, you will make your money back and make an extra $500,000 over your life, at least, as a result of having done this.
I'm going to pause right here. You'll notice as he continues down this video, as you listen to this video, he's going to talk about the distinction between certain kinds of degrees. What are you actually going into? And how is that also giving you a specific ROI, right? So, like, not all college degrees are equal. So, they're talking about engineering right now, but they're going to continue to talk about all college degrees and the breakdown there when it comes to the return on investment. What are some of the careers that are worth going into? What are some of the careers that are not worth going into? He's going to give us just like a preview, like a buffet style. And then we're going to break down more in depth on that conversation and how to really assess for yourself and do the investigation, what to actually be researching as you're deciding, what do I want to go into? What is actually going to be a return on investment? What is going to actually teach me practical, relevant, respected, valuable skills in the economy? And then I'll also share some of my lessons from my own experience in education, not only in going to community college, then dropping out, being in the workforce for several years, and then going back to college now in the future, next year, which is wild. We're going to talk all about that, but pay attention to what he says next, because he's talking about engineering, and then they kind of zoom out to look at more of the bigger perspective on different college degrees.
But what was the number? Was it 1 in 16? What was the 16 number?
16% have a negative ROI of all programs.
So almost 1 in 5 of all, not engineering, of all degrees. So when you get this degree and you pay too much for it at some kind of a famous school because you wanted to go to a famous school, or you study something that's just dumb, you're just dumb for getting a degree in that.
I love Dave Ramsey. I love his sense of humor. He just says he says what he says. He doesn't apologize for it. It's man.
It's kind of weird that we're dumb about education, but we are. And that's just dumb to get a degree in this nuanced BB stacking, underwater BB stacking. I've got a master's degree in that. I've got a master's degree in Czechoslovakian medieval art.
That doesn't ROI?
You're not going to make money on this, dude. This is going to be there's only one thing you can do with that: become a professor of Czechoslovakian art. That's all you can do. There's no jobs for that except at Starbucks. That's it. And so you're going to be a barista. That's what you're going to be. And there's no ROI on your Czechoslovakian medieval art degree. So this is the thing, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it goes on to say here, and this is no shocker, that the bachelor's degree programs like engineering, computer science, economics, nursing, they do have a positive ROI. But when you start to go into art, music, philosophy, religion, psychology, it says students can be financially worse off than if they'd never gone to college at all. And so that scares me. And a lot of people, they're not thinking about college choice, and they're not thinking about the ROI of their degree. And we talk about how we're not against education. We just want the education to match the goals. So if you want to be a nurse, yes, you got to go to school. But if you want to go into art, unless you want to be an art teacher, you may not need to go get a 4-year degree at the Ivy League school.
I love this distinction. I'm going to pause again. I love this distinction because this is something that I didn't think about when I was initially choosing a college degree. When I was considering, what do I want to go into? What am I thinking about going into? Just kind of assuming that college was the route, right? Like, I'm going to go to college for something. I might as well go into art. It's something that I'm super into. I'm very fascinated with it. I love it. I've been doing it my whole life. I might as well go to college for it, right? And I know lots of my peers, other people who are even younger than me, who are in that position again. I feel like I'm in that position all over again, last second round. But for, those who are in high school, considering what they want to do, are having these conversations with their parents, with their peers, their friends, whatever, and saying, what do I want to go into? Are we actually looking at the return on investment of a college degree, especially because college degrees nowadays are so insanely expensive that no one can actually legitimately afford them unless you take out a loan and then you're paying back you're paying back for your school for years and years afterwards. It's crazy to me how many people who are in their middle-aged season of life and are still paying back college. I've watched people, good friends of mine, who have college debt and loans that they're still paying back, and it's just this heavy, stressful thing on them. And then I have family members who have, I have a brother who's finishing his master's degree and he's debt free. He's worked his butt off this entire time that he's been in college so that he's not in debt. And at the end of the day, when he's done with college and he's graduated, he's not going to have debt chasing him around, where a lot of other people will. And then a huge portion of whatever you're doing, whether you're using your degree or you're not using your degree, is now following you around, following you, following your spouse, following your kids, following your family, because now you're in debt. And what's sad to me is that there is still such a pressure on young adults to immediately go from high school into college. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to finish this out because this whole conversation is really great. Again, you can view this video from Dave Ramsey and George Camel down in the description below and watch the whole video there.
Now, after accounting for the risk of dropping out, ROI for the median bachelor's degree drops to $129,000 on average. That's the median. Over a quarter of the programs have a negative ROI. Elite schools like Caltech and Penn dominate the list of the highest ROI programs, but attending an elite school is not a golden ticket. Some Ivy League degrees have negative ROI. And let me just tell you, it's hard to get an ROI when you pay $200,000 for a bachelor's degree. I don't care what it's in. It's hard to get a return on that investment. And versus if you'd have paid $60,000 for that same degree from a state school, you would have gotten the same freaking job, by the way. The same exact job. If you got, a degree in IT security, 4-year degree in information systems, specialization in IT security, excellent degree field. You got a degree in supply chain. Oh my God, obviously we need some of those people working right now. And so, you got a degree in that. That's a big time job. I mean, most of those jobs, people are coming out state school making $85,000 right now with an undergrad. Wow. No masters. Okay.
I'm going to stop it here. So they get really, really nerdy in this video. You can go watch more of it over on the Dave Ramsey channel. But this transitions us beautifully into the whole conversation around what are you going into? What is the return on investment? What is the investment that you're putting in on the front end? How does that lengthen out the amount of time? See, this is the thing. It's not even just purely only exclusively about your return on investment. It's also how long does it take you from the time that you graduate or even before you graduate, when you're in your field, when you get a job in your field based on your degree, how long does it take to actually get that return on investment? How long does it take to pay off for college when you're actually in the career that you're choosing?